Some of your favorite films and TV shows are much closer to the teaching of Jesus Christ than you might think. Many of the most popular and successful films have hidden Christian values and draw inspiration from biblical stories. Here are 5 popular and successful films and their Christian messages you didn't know about. Let's get into it. First film right here is Inception. I couldn't find any interview where Nolan claimed to be a Christian, but it is known that he grew up in a Catholic school. The Christian influence on Nolan's worldview, I think, comes through in every single one of his films. Inception being one of the major examples of this. This film is about the deceptive power of thoughts and the dangers of imagination, and it shows us how ideas can penetrate our identity from the outside in. This goes hand in hand with how much value Christianity places on our inner life. The story about the protagonist and his wife that cultivate their world around them as the only people out there, and the tragic death of his wife because of deceptive lies mirrors the story of Adam and Eve. In the finale, the emotional resolution of the film's plot is intercut with characters going underwater. It just reminds me a lot of baptism, where our real self is getting restored. This is a personal and complex film where everything feels like it's placed there for a reason, and the symbolism and thematic parallels to me are more than just coincidences. Next up we have A Quiet Place. This franchise has fundamental Christian motifs in the way it portrays the family dynamic, especially the value of unborn life. I mean, the central tension of the film comes from a pregnant woman that is about to give birth to her child in the middle of an apocalyptic alien invasion. The parents don't abort the baby, but decide instead to keep it, and this shows us that bringing a child into a broken world is an act of hope and faith. The spin-off film A Quiet Place Day 1 contains even more Christian meaning, that of showing kindness and helping strangers. Going deeper, it even has the main characters almost drowning and re-emerging in an Orthodox church where they find safety and hope in the middle of the world being destroyed by evil. Next up we have Training Day. It is known that Denzel Washington, who is openly Christian, after reading the screenplay for the first time, wrote "The wages of sin is death" on its cover. Training Day shows us how good people can become bad when we lean into our own understanding and get overwhelmed by the evils in the world. It's about the immense difficulty of living among evil, trying to be good. Denzel Washington's character is an undercover cop who, while wearing even a cross around his neck, makes excuses for his immoral actions. But in the end, we find out that there isn't God working on the inside of him, only the devil. And the devil's been just trying to convince you everything is alright all along. Next up we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now, this is one of the most inventive fantasy worlds ever created, and the film adaptations are some of the best filmmaking ever put on film. What you maybe didn't know is that the author of the original books, J.R.R. Tolkien, was a Christian. Now, Christian themes and symbolism is what this entire franchise builds upon. The character of Frodo shows us that real strength comes not from the outside characteristics. The different wizards in the film stand in for the fight between spiritual guides and false prophets. Probably the most iconic part of these films is Gollum, and he symbolizes what happens to humans who get corrupted by sin. These films are packed with Christian values, making them some of the best films to watch for young people trying to understand morality. The next film is The Revenant. Now, The Revenant draws its focus into a lot of places that aren't particularly Christian. Still, watching this film, I couldn't shake off the parallels this has to the biblical story of Job, or even the Passion of Christ. DiCaprio's character's rise from the dead has obvious parallels to the death and resurrection of Jesus. The afterlife is an ever-present reality in this film, and in one of the most beautiful, surreal scenes, a father is reconciled with his dead son in the ruins of a destroyed church. The Christian morals run even deeper. The film builds on a traditional portrayal of a father-son dynamic, particularly masculinity defined as a loving father and husband who protects and endures suffering without giving in to evil. The topic of revenge also finds a Christian resolution when the protagonist decides not to kill his antagonist. The way the film on a stylistic level finds intimate moments of grace within primitive violence and ruthless nature shows God's presence in his creation. I have a bonus film right here, Get Out. I already made an even longer video about Get Out and all the other films of Jordan Peele, Us and Nope, and how each one of them directly quotes scripture from the Bible, and they're all essentially about humanity's fight against God and the subsequent fall and punishment. Get Out is Peele's first breakout hit and references a Bible verse that was cut out of the final movie. The story shows us the dangers of worshipping something as our God that isn't God, and in the case of the film's antagonists, it's a particular race. Get Out makes a statement that is really Christian. Even if you have the right intentions, following false idols and believing deceptive lies will lead you into death, hell, and destruction. Make sure to check out my video on the films of Jordan Peele called God vs. You. I really think you'll enjoy this one. Alright guys, this is it for today. I really thank you for your time and attention. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.